Hello viewers, welcome again to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to discuss about the equations of linear motion. So I want us to discuss about how we can derive these equations of linear motions. We have three of them, so let me just highlight them here and then we will try to derive them together. So these are the three equations of linear motion. We have v is equals to u plus at. We also have s is equals to ut plus a half at squared, and v squared is equals to u squared plus 2as. So I want us to learn on how we can derive these three equations. So first of all, before we start deriving this equation, let us draw a graph of a uniform accelerating body from its initial velocity to its final velocity. So let us say, for example, this is our graph of velocity against time. So at the x-axis is time. So at this point here, this is the initial velocity. We can represent it with a u. This one is our final velocity as v. So it starts from this velocity to this velocity and it is accelerating uniformly like this. This is the initial time and this is the final time taken for this acceleration to occur. Now I want us to derive these three equations with the help of this graph of a uniform accelerating body. So we all know that to find the gradient of this graph, we will take the change of y against the change in x. We have the u and we have the v. And we all know that u is the initial velocity and v is normally the final velocity. So knowing this equation, we can be able to derive the first equation, this one. So let us derive it together. Now for us to derive it, we need to find the gradient of this line. And the gradient of this line will be change in y against change in x. So the change in y will be v minus u, and the change in x will just be time because it's from this point to this point. So it is just time. And we all know that this equation represents acceleration. So from this, we can be able to say that a is equal to v minus u all over t. Now, this equation, they have put this v as the subject formula. So we can put this v as the subject formula here, which will be, we multiply both sides by t, both sides by t. So it will be at is equal to v minus u. Now we need to remain with this v on this side, so we need to take this u on the other side. So it will be v is equals to u plus at. And this is the final equation which we have just found here. So the second equation is this one, s is equals to ut plus a half at squared. So for us to derive this formula for this second equation here, we first need to understand these two things. That is displacement, distance. So we all know that a displacement is a vector quantity. So this means that a displacement does not care about a path. It only has a start and a finish, meaning it has a direction. So let's say, for example, you have two houses. You have one house at this point and you have another house at this point. And the path from this house A to this house B is like this. So this is the road that you're supposed to follow for you to move from this house A to house B. The distance will be the distance of this line here. But now the displacement will just be a vector. It will be a line from this point to this point like this. So this line here is the displacement, and if you follow this path, that is the distance. So a displacement has a common direction. You can be able to say towards the east, towards the west, towards the north, or whichever direction you'll be following. But at distance, it does not follow a common direction. It can have some bends. Now, when you talk about distance, distance is a scalar quantity. So just as I've said, the distance from A to B will have to follow this path. So this represents the total length of the path traveled. So it has no direction. It will just follow the path. And as you can see, this path is irregular. You cannot say it is towards the east or towards the west. Another thing that you need to know about displacement and distance is that displacement can be a negative. Let's say, for example, you have a car at this point. If it goes towards this direction, you can represent it as positive, and if it goes to the opposite direction, you can represent it as a negative. So let's say, for example, you have a car that moves, let's say 5 meters and then 5 meters to the back. So the distance from this point to this point here is 5 meters. And this car moves from this point to this point, and then from this point back to this point. So when you talk about displacement, basically, if towards this direction is positive, then it will be positive 5 meters. And if going back like this is negative, then it will be -5 meters. So if you combine them together, you'll get a 0. So a displacement, because it can have a negative or a positive value, then you can get a resultant distance of 0 even if that car moved. But when it comes to a distance is always positive. So if it moved 5 meters to the front, so that will be +5, and then if it moves 5 meters to the back, that will be +5, and the total distance is supposed to give you 10 meters. So distance, you just take the whole value in positive form, and displacement, you need to take note of the direction it moves. So if it moves in one direction, then you take that one direction as positive. Then if it moves to the opposite direction, then you need to take that as a negative. That is because displacement can have a negative value and a positive value. So taking note of what we have discussed, let us now derive this equation here. So for you to find displacement, we need to take the average velocity, we multiply it by time. So from this graph, we know the initial velocity is u and the final velocity is v. So for you to find the average velocity, we'll need to take u plus v and we divide by 2, because to find the average, we take the total and then we divide by the total number of the quantities. So for example, these quantities are 2. We have the initial velocity and the final velocity. So the average velocity will be v plus u divided by 2. So this is the average velocity. This one you're supposed to multiply it by time. So this one here represents displacement, and displacement is always denoted as s. So this one is s is equals to this. Now I want you to take note that we previously said that v is equals to u plus at. So this formula is the one that we derived earlier on, this one here. So I want us to use this formula on this formula, whereby we will substitute this v and this v. So we'll substitute this v to represent these values here. Take this s is equal to, now instead of putting this v, we will put this value here. So it will be u plus at plus u. So because this u plus at represents this v, so we just place it there, and then we add this u here, and then we divide by 2, and then all multiplied by t. So for us to simplify this formula, what we are going to do is take this one plus this one, so it will be s is equal to, into brackets, 2u plus at divided by 2 multiplied by t. So it will be s is equal to 2u over 2 plus at all over 2, all of it multiplied by t. So these 2 and these 2 will cancel each other out, and then we remain with these other values here. So it will be s is equals to this t multiplied by u, it will be ut, plus this one multiplied by this one, it will be at squared over 2. So this one can be represented as s is equals to ut, plus this one can be a half at squared, and this is how we derive second equation. Now another way of finding this second equation is by finding the area of these two figures here. Remember, we have two figures from this graph. We have, let us represent this one as a and this one as b. So if we use these figures and find the area of them, and then we add them together, we will find the displacement. So we'll take s is equals to the area of a plus the area of, this one is a triangle, so the area of a is a half, is times height, plus the area of b is length multiplied by the width, because this is a rectangle, this here is a rectangle, this one here is a triangle. What is the area of this triangle? So for you to find the area of this triangle, we'll take this a half, multiply it with the base. So the base is the distance from this point to this point, which is t. So this base is t, we multiply it with the height. So the height is from this point to this point, and this height is represented by v minus u. So this is v minus u. We can put it in brackets like that. Then we need to add it with the area of this triangle here. So let us use blue. The area of this rectangle here, which is section B, will be, the area of rectangle is length multiplied by width. So the length here is t. This is the length, and the width is from this point to this point, which is u. So if we multiply it together, it will be t multiplied by u. This is the area of the rectangle. So from this first equation, which is v is equal to u plus at, we need to substitute this equation here, the v minus u. So it will be, we'll take this u on this direction, and it will be v minus u is equals to at. So I've used this first equation of motion, which we had extracted before. So because this v minus u is the same as this v minus u here, then what we can do is we can substitute them together by this one represent this one, and we can do that by representing it with at. So if you represent it with at, it will be a half t multiplied by at, then plus, you can just represent it as ut, like that. So all this represents S. Now let us combine these formulas together. It will be S is equal to, so this one is a half t multiplied by AT. So it will be a half AT squared, because we have two t's here, this one and this one and this A. So it will be a half AT squared plus UT. And this is the same as the second formula. So you can either find the area of these two shapes or use the other way which we had used previously. Now let us try to derive the final equation, which is this one here. Now for us to derive this final equation, we need to take the formula of displacement. And how can we use it? So I remember previously we said that displacement is given by the average velocity, which is u plus v divided by 2 multiplied by time taken. At this time we are going to substitute this t here. We know that A is given by V minus U divided by T. Now let us put this T as the subject formula. We'll multiply both sides by T and both sides by T. So it will be this T and this T goes, and it remains AT is equals to V minus U. But now we only need this T. So what you can do is we divide both sides by A. It will be T is equals to V minus U divided by A. And this is the formula of T. Now I want us to substitute this formula with this formula here. So we take this one, place it here. So if you substitute this T here, it will be S is equals to V minus U, V plus U, which is because it is the average velocity, divided by 2. Then we multiply it with this T here, and this T will represent it with this value here, which is V minus U divided by A. Now if we calculate this, you're supposed to get V squared minus UV plus UV minus U squared all over 2A. So we can open this, and then you're supposed to get this one. So let us further simplify this formula. So we have negative UV and positive UV. So this one and this one cancels out each other. And remember, the final answer is supposed to be S is given by this. Now, if this one and this one goes, then the final representation of this equation will be S is equal to V squared minus U squared divided by 2A. Let us multiply both sides by 2A, multiplied both sides by 2A. So it will be 2AS is equal to, so this 2A and this 2A goes, it will be V squared minus U squared. Now, if we take this V squared as the subject formula, it will be V squared is equals to, so because this one is negative, if it goes to this side, it will become positive. It will be U squared plus 2AS. And this is the last equation of motion. And this is how we normally derive these three equations of motions. Until the next video, thanks for watching.